Hey, hey, hey. All right, guys. Today's video is in relation to our number 5 blog post on cultivating confidence in kids. And the title is Why the Child Doesn't Have to Know the Answer. So why they don't always have to know the answer and how to help them see this. So one thing we see as parents is maybe not see. One thing we want from our parents, as parents, for our kids, is that they are confident, and they feel comfortable in their own skin, and they kind of feel assured of themselves and making their own decisions. Like that's what we want. We want humans at the end of it that are good people, that are good at making their own decisions. So part of that is building that confidence as they're growing. And what you might see as well is there's sometimes children are confident, but they're overconfident, I guess is how we would describe it, in that they're confident to a point that they perhaps shouldn't be. So they think they know everything. They can't learn anything because they're closed off from learning, because they think they have the answers to everything and they already know everything, and they interrupt people and tell them what they know, even though it's possibly less than what they do know, or the other person that they're talking to knows. So we might see a level of overconfidence in children, or we might see a level of no confidence in children. And there's obviously always that in between thing. And for different topics, they might be confident or overly confident and less confident. So, and then the less confident side of things is where they're too timid. They're too scared to have a go at something because they don't know how to do it, or they're worried about what other people think of them. And that's the broad range. And when I'm talking about these sorts of things, I often will talk about that fixed and growth mindset as well. You've got fixed at one end, you've got growth at the other. There's that continuation throughout, and it's going to be different for different topics. This is the same. It's the same with all this stuff with kids, which is why they're so much fun. So they might be timid and not sure of themselves in something, but completely overconfident and know it all in another. It's, there's that continuation within a topic or a subject, and there's also that continuation just overall in general. So some things that we want to do for those kids that are really timid and unsure of themselves is we want to look at that growth and fixed mindset concept with them. And they should be doing this in school, but even if they're not, we're starting to talk about this at home because I'm helping you with that. So some things that you can talk about with them in this is, when they're too shy and they're timid and they're worried about what other people think, or that they can't do it, or they're not able to do it the first time, which was last week's topic, then we can talk about, okay, well, this is where we're starting from. Is your mind in more of a fixed place or a growing place? And they'll tell you it's a fixed place. When they're saying things like I can't, or I'm too scared, or those sorts of things, they know that they're fixed based concepts. Okay, so let's look at what's the opposite. What's the opposite of that then? Okay, well, the opposite of me being scared is me just doing it, or me being confident, or me being able to, or not worrying about what other people think and just going for it anyway. So the basis of a lot of this stuff is really asking your children questions. So you want them to look at, okay, here's where I am, and here's where the extreme other end is, and what little steps can I take in between to get there? All right, so I would normally go over that fixed and growth mindset with them if they're struggling a little bit with their confidence. And then I would also talk to them about things like, okay, so tell me some things you are good at. And that gets them in that mindset of, oh, okay, hang on. What are some things I'm good at? And they'll start rattling some things off. They know they're good at some things. Okay, well, were you good at those straight away? No, I had to do this, this, and this. Okay, well, this is going to be the same thing. You're starting here. To get better, we need to do some more practice. So, relating that back to them and bringing it back and getting them asking questions so that they're thinking about themselves and how they've improved their confidence in some other area is going to also help them to improve confidence in this area. Another thing to teach them is also that not knowing the answers is awesome. I always say to the kids, you don't know? Yes, high five. As I said last week, we do a lot of high fiving. So, okay, that's awesome that you don't know the answer and you're acknowledging that. So what are we going to do about it? We can Google it, Mum. Googling. God, what did kids do before Google? Well, we went on encyclopedias. Or we asked someone else that did know. All right. So, you know, they'll be able to think of things. So we can get a book. We can go to the library. We can ask such and such because they know about it. We can Google it. All those sorts of things. We can go on YouTube and have a look at a video. So, you know, if we don't know the answer, it's awesome that we don't know the answer, because that means that there's something there that we can learn. And I always say to the kids, there's no one knows everything about everything. It's impossible, because you'll have different interests and different things that you're in, you know, that you're interested in, or that you know about already, or that you're interested in learning about. So no one's ever going to know everything about everything. And that's part of being human. And it's one of the best parts about being a human, is that we can always be learning. And when we're learning, we're growing. Oh, okay. Gosh, mindset. Okay. All comes back together. So we always go through, if kids are unconfident with something, then I'll go through the growth versus fixed with them. I relate it back to something where they've already achieved that confidence in something else, and then how can we do that again? We always talk about how it's awesome that they don't know something. Well done on bringing that to attention and acknowledging that. That's a really good thing. How are we going to find out about it? And cultivating that curiosity is really important as a parent, as an adult, as a teacher. Having that curiosity, like we always comment with children, they're so curious, and it's so beautiful how much they look at everything and see beauty or wonder, or, you know, they have so many questions. So I hear that all the time. My kids have so many questions all the time, and sometimes we get a little bit frustrated by that, but we also need to appreciate that, because that's one of their greatest qualities, is that they do have that curiosity, and we want to maintain that level of curiosity, because if they're not learning, they're not growing, and if they're not growing, then that's not a happy life down the track. So we want to make sure that we're helping them to grow, and part of that's their curiosity. All right, so recapping the main things that we want to do if your child is having a little bit of trouble with confidence in an area, is to talk to them about fixed versus growth mindset. Second thing is to compare it to something where they have been confident before, and get them to think about how that happened over time and what they can do now to become more confident in this area. Third thing is to acknowledge that it's awesome that they don't know the answers, and then figure out a solution, how we're going to find the answer. And the fourth thing is to just keep cultivating that curiosity. So making sure that we're enjoying the process of learning and not knowing everything. And we do that through asking questions and finding answers. All right, so that's it for us this week, guys. If you have any questions, you can head over to growkidsminds.com, or you can find us on pretty much every social media as Grow Kids Minds. Any other questions, anything along the way, please hit us up in there, or come join our community, and we talk about stuff in there as well. All right, see you next week, guys. Bye.